Hello from the beach, and it is gorgeous down here. I am not a surfer, but these waves are epic, and there's a ton of surfers down here. And it's like gorgeous out, and it's what, middle of October? It's pretty epic. Anyway, I'm helping some friends who are launching a new fund, and it's got me thinking about the strategy around that. When I asked them, how much money do you think you could raise in this, like where you could still execute your process and generate returns that your investors would expect, they were like $1 billion, $2 billion. But this is their first fund. Before I tell you what my advice was, let me tell you why my advice was what it was. The most important thing with your first fund is that you nail it. Everything you say you're gonna do, you do. You execute the process, you deliver the returns, you give them a good experience as an investor, and the more money you raise, the more investors you take, the more difficult that becomes. And so while it may be true that you could run $1 billion or $2 billion or even more in your strategy, what would happen if instead of rolling that out, here's my first fund and the capacity is $1 billion, if you said, this is my first fund, I'm only going to take a handful of investors. I'm only going to take 20, 30, $40 million, and then I'm going to close it. First of all, you're more likely to hit your raise, and just think about that, just that in and of itself. You say, I'm going to raise this much, 20, 30, 40, from a handful of like-minded investors, and you hit it or you're oversubscribed. The behavioral around that is so much more powerful than if you say, I'm going to raise $1 billion fund and you miss it by $960 million. There's so much that goes into that first fund, and not all of it is about how much you can make or how much you can run. So I hope that helps if you're thinking about launching a fund. Think about all the things, the behavioral components, the operational components, the success that you want to deliver, and make it easy for yourself to do that. Don't just think about the first fund. Think about the next one too. High five from the beach.